AB.
Super cute image. The posing works. The lighting is good. I think you did a good job with this.
One of the things I see is the key line on this is the exact same as the background, so you have no key line at the top, and then as you come down on the blanket, the key line starts. It changes it to a different color so it goes all the way around the image, and then thin it down to maybe a quarter of that size.
Strong image. I like it. Don't need to say anything more when you like it.
80. Vintage Love.
Technical difficulties.
Oh no. Don't worry, you had to go. You feel like me now. I feel like me. So right at home.
Okay, is this right?
This is right here. This is
Oh, we're doing a side quote.
Vintage Love.
Well, I like the photographers are daring enough to put in fun images of children to make us smile. I think there's too much room around the image. The image with the expression is what tells it all. I find that the hair coming behind her ear, as we do it on the right side and the left side, is a little distracting. I want to keep it in with the expression and tight cropping. And other than that, I'm enjoying her. I think the title needs to be redone. I did not get the title on that. Didn't make sense.
Beautiful baby.
Love the image of the baby. The background bothers me. I think it's too sharp. The background edge of where the rug meets the background again, is too sharp for me. These are nitpicking. I do like the tonality of the black and white. I think I'd like to see a little darker image with a little more contrast. And I think it'd be right in there.
78. Bow Hunter Practice. $78.
I like the overall concept. I would make the tonality all one tone. That colored image in there just destroys it for me. The next thing that bothers me is the image in the lower right-hand corner. You can flip that going back into the image. You also need to go in and when you cut out, there are some technical things of his extended arm on the main image. There's a white line on there. You can go in and technically fix that in Photoshop when you're doing the cutouts to take that part of that image, that white line out of the image.
For me, there's only too many things going on. understand the concept of it, and we all do, but I sometimes it becomes a point where it's just too much. I feel that that's what it is with this image for me.
Frog fishing.
I really enjoy this image. I would definitely flip it. And you've got such a bright line coming above his head to separate him. It really doesn't match the sky above. It would be darker. And if you flip that over and you've got a rock sticking out there in the middle of the lake, I was feeling it's a fly fisherman, that is distracting, and I think you've got too much information, top and bottom, for the image if you panorama that, and we talk about 2 inches top and bottom, keeping it in the thirds on the right side.
I love the color and the feel of this image, but I personally can't tell that he's fishing.
If you leave the image as is, the application of the canvas or the texture, whatever is applied, the ripples on the lower right-hand side, it looks like it's not there. It needs to continue out through the ripples in the whole image.
That was 78. The hayseed.
In this image, it's very, very flat lighting. It looks like straight on flash from the camera. It lacks impact. I'm also on the presentation on the map. Those stray hairs of hers are coming out and they distract me. They come out on both sides of the image. I would fix that, but I'm not sure with as flat as the lighting is that this would make a merit thing.
And I agree with Stephanie on this. Attitude, when you find a little girl that can pull this off with that attitude, work on what she talked about, lighting, different time of day, sunset, whatever, and create something that is really going to work for competition. I feel this is satisfy the customer's needs rather than competition needs.
74.
And if you are going to use a additional flash outside, get it off 45 degrees. If you do a 45-degree angle in the camera room, then do it outside. Get that thing off the camera and get it away from the camera.
That was 74. Mountain living.
Unfortunately, on this particular image, there are too many things going on. There's no real center of interest here. You look and look, the image is small as we do it, and there's a farm with foreground, and there's a forest behind him, and we're not sure, I'm not sure what is my center of interest here.
I agree.
And the key line on the border needs to be smaller also.
76. ML.
Yeah, I actually like this for certain reasons. I like his expression. I like the way the presentation is off to the right. There are obviously things that can be worked on with his complexion. I'm not sure that that needs to be done. The pocket of dark over his shoulder, I'd rather have it all, and down on the lower, have it all gone, so it's all high key. And some kind of more of a specularity in his eyes. There isn't any in his eyes. But other than that, I like the cleanness. We don't see this often, and maybe it's not a real strong print, but I feel that it has a real quality to it. I mean,
76. Daddy's Kisses. $79.
I really like this image. I like the tonality. I like the gradation on the arm. I like the direction of light. I like the story that's being told. A few issues that I had was on his left arm, between his left and right arm, there's a little bit of a, looks like a light trap down at the bottom, at the very, very bottom here. The light trap in between the fingers holding the head is holding me back a little bit. The key line is a little bit thick, and the white mat is definitely really distracting. Other than that, I really, really like this image.
I feel that the baby's face is too light. I know there's a difference in contrast between the two of them, but it's almost to a point where the highlights are washed out. And I would like to have seen this a little bit more of a square image, where the image on the right side about his arm comes into about the middle of his arm, and make that a square print where there's more room to come into from the left to his eyes on the right, and then cut it off to a square print.
79. Golden. $77.
The softness around the arm, on the arms, the outer edge of the arms, the one going up the metal, that really bothers me because it's like the pipe is sharp, her face is sharp, but that upper edge of her arm's not. I'm also having a problem. It looks like the what do they call that little elliptical highlight in the eye? It's in the wrong spot compared to the specular highlight that you have. I mean, she's very pretty. The arms, the hands, they're a bit bright.
I also feel same thing Stephanie did, that I tried to crop off visually the right side, and it's such a strong line, diagonal line, that you really cannot pull that away into a square photograph. It just keeps going out. So, love the expression, but there are some definite things in here that you would need to work on that I don't believe it's going to make the 80 merit.
Break time.
Like,
$80.
I really like this image. I like the tonality of it. I think the tonality of the boats is done very well. The second boat in with the red stripe may be just a little bit on the bright side. If you go up directly from the roof of the first boat, there's some clouds in there that kind of have a repeating pattern. I'm not sure if those are clone marks or if that is, in fact, just the fluffy nature of the clouds, but that should be something that's looked at. I feel like, you know, maybe this is, I like the contrast. I think it could be could be, the right side could be brought up just a little bit.
One of the things that the viewers have been watching this for some time is talking about how tight it is on the left and right, especially the load on the left. If this crop was to go all the way out and become even more of a panorama and let that extend out, I'm just a real advocate of not trying to crowd all this information in a map that has to be a certain size, so bring it out to the edge, at least experiment with it, because we do like the image.
Unshaken.
Some of the things on this image that were holding me back a little bit, the blown out highlights basically on the underneath, on the bride, underneath her elbow on the back side of the dress. The veil that's closest to the shoulder seems to be catching more light and seems to be going a little bit hot. Unshaken kind of fits with the pose, I guess. They're a little stiff. His collar seems a little bit bright too. I'm not typically a huge fan of just overall green casts on things. So that to me usually says that there's a white balance issue, stuff like that. It cuts into their skin tone being off.
It is a posed image, so go up and straighten the tie. It doesn't take but a couple seconds to fix that, but that angle of that tie really bothers me, as well as the things that Tim has pointed out.
Set on that.
78. To have and to hold. $75.
He's not holding her. That's the problem. That's one of the big problems that I have with it. That right arm of his is just dropped down. It's like he's not involved with it.
I labeled that. I call that a dangling participle. If you all out there and hear that and see those anything dangling like that, if you have it, should be connected to something else. And the tree and the specularity on it is kind of a nice idea, but definitely hit it.
Yeah, the diagonal church, it looks like it's falling over. The lens flare is completely washed out. 2/3 of the print. You have a little bit of blue sky up in the right-hand corner, but everything else is completely washed out.
And the border color is not doing you any favors with this either. I guess it ties into something that's in the bouquet, but it's like that's such a small part of the color in there that background that you've selected is really subtracting from your print.
Waiting for dinner.
Oh,